What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Culé. The lineups are out and it looks like Odriozola is actually starting at the right back spot. He has not played at all in La Liga this season, so it'll be pretty interesting. We basically predicted the whole lineup in that pregame analysis video. In that video, I talked about how I am feeling like there could be a potential drop of points for Real Madrid. Something about this game has me a little bit, not feeling too great. I predicted a potential 1-1 tie. Let's hope that doesn't become true. But I'll see you guys at the end of the first half. Let's go ahead and get started. Talk about a complicated game. Guys, this half is not going exactly how we would have wanted. It's not entirely horrible, but let me break down a little bit of what has happened. Let's go a little more chronologically. We started off with a Real Madrid that was looking pretty good offensively, right? And then Hazard was actually taking people on. The team looked like they were working well together. And come minute 9 and come the beginning of the disaster, where we started to see a Levante that was playing a lot of long balls because they noticed that our defensive line, our center backs, were pretty high up. They were pressing pretty high around that, half line. And so they noticed this and they try to counteract this by playing long balls because Levante has very fast strikers. And so this started affecting us because, even though we do have fast defenders right now with Odriozola, Mendy, Varane is pretty fast, Militao is not slow either. Like I said, they have very fast attackers, and in one of the situations they managed to get the attacker behind our center backs line, on sides obviously, and Militao prematurely fouled him. In my opinion, I hope I can get the clip of that foul right there for you guys. He was the last man. Varane was starting to get there. The ball was bouncing. The attacker, I believe it's Sergio Leon, he didn't look like he had the ball fully under control. So that brings me to, and Odriozola was closing in. Militao fouls him. A very light touch. Nonetheless, I think it's still a foul. When you're going at those speeds, even a light touch will knock you down. The only thing is that I don't know if that was completely necessary. I don't think Sergio Leon was really going to end up scoring, or he would have had to pull off an amazing volley to score that goal. Yet, Militao prematurely fouls him, and sure enough, at first the ref gave him a yellow card, but they did take it back to VAR and decide that it was actually going to be a red card. So now Real Madrid found themselves a man down with a whole 80 minutes left to play. 80 minutes when we know our midfield is just those three midfielders, an old midfield with absolutely zero people to bring in from the bench. Defense, same thing. We were now going down a man in the defense. When you look at your defense and you only have Marcelo and a few other defenders from the Real Madrid B side, Castilla. So it's definitely like it was a formula for failure. However, to our surprise, within 4 minutes, Toni Kroos puts a beautiful ball. He caresses that ball into the feet of Marco Asensio, who I didn't think, the moment I saw it, he was one-on-one with the goalie. I was like, Asensio's not going to make this because he was right on that on the right side. He had to use his right foot. I was like, Marco Asensio is so left-footed. Yet, to my surprise, he pulled off a great, well-slotted shot into the bottom corner with his right foot. So suddenly we were down a man, but we were also up a goal. And I was like, okay, it's interesting. I know previous years, Real Madrid, whenever they went down a man, would actually end up playing better because they knew there was no room for mistake. Their concentration, their focus went 100%. However, those were different times because that's back when we had Cristiano Ronaldo on the field, one of the most disciplined players there is out there, and our captain Sergio Ramos. So without those two players, it's gonna be a lot different this time. And sure enough, as the minutes grew, as the minutes went on, we could see Levante growing. They would start putting a lot more pressure. Casemiro went back to play center back, which affected us a lot in our offensive transition because Casemiro is always the one to receive the ball from the defender's turn and give to Toni Kroos so we can now transition to the attack. So without having Casemiro right there at the center defensive mid, there was basically no link between the midfield and the defense. So our offense suffered a lot, and so the team recruited to just dropping back deeper as expected. And even Benzema was dropping all the way down. So we kind of switched our lineup to a 4-4-1 formation where Asensio and Eden Hazard were trying to help out the two center mids, Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, to help them out in the midfield. But obviously that affects the offense a lot, and now we don't really have much room to break out. And so even, like I said, even Benzema was dropping in deep. So that allows one of the defenders, because now they have Levante has 4 defenders that are not being pressed only by Benzema whenever he's actually up there. So that gives them so much room to just move players up. So what ended up happening is now not only are we a man down, but because we're not putting players up there, Levante has the freedom to just start incorporating more players in the attack. And sure enough, it looked like Levante players everywhere on the field. And Real Madrid was not absorbing that pressure well. They were not having a good time. You could see Levante growing. You could feel the goal coming. And sure enough, around minute 32, Levante put in a really good cross. Casemiro got caught trying to pressure that ball because that's his instinct as a center defensive mid. And when he pressured that, he left 3 guys back behind him with only Odriozola to mark those 3 guys. So Odriozola tended to drift a little more centrally to mark up with those central guys, leaving Morales, the striker that we talked about in the pregame analysis with 7 goals so far, to leave him up to score his 8th goal of the season with a beautiful, fantastic volley. Honestly, it was a really, really good goal. But I do think Odriozola could have done a little more had he just taken a step back and kind of covered a little more in the middle, where he could have potentially covered all 3 of them just like that, because they weren't too far away. So now we have a second 45 minutes that are going to be cardiac for us, because like I've been saying, we have no offense. There is no offense. There is no legs for the team to attack. And it's just a free fall for Levante to attack us. So how long can we hold? Like I said, guys, this game was going to be very tough, and it got even worse within the 9th minute after we went down a man. At this point, I don't even know if a tie may just be a good result for us, because it looks like Levante is having so many opportunities. Courtois keeps getting a lot of saves. Guys, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough for us to win this game. It would be a miracle if we come back in with a 2-1 victory. I guess there's only room to hope. In this game, anything can happen. I'll see you guys at the end of the second half. Well, that concludes a completely disgusting game in which Real Madrid they're done. They are done with La Liga. Vinicius Jr., I'm sorry, you are not for Real Madrid. You do not have the caliber to play with this team. And this just wraps up all the problems with Real Madrid. Let's break it down a little bit more. Bettoni, the assistant coach, tried to make some changes. I guess you could say Zidane too. Try to make some changes by bringing in Vinicius Jr. for Eden Hazard, which, in my opinion, wasn't the most terrible decision, because Eden Hazard was pretty dead at this point, honestly, and the game was going to become very back and forth. But Vinicius Jr., especially when he's on the right wing, can do absolutely nothing. He goes in reckless to every single challenge that he tries to make. Whenever he has the ball, his only resource is to just try to touch it long and try to beat the players off his sprint. In the one-on-one, in terms of skill, he never really beats anyone. Like I said, if it's not with pace. Minutes, I don't even know what minute it was, in the 50s. 60s. Vinicius Jr. comes in recklessly, fouls the guy on the line. They give a penalty for Levante, which Courtois amazingly pulls off a save. That's the 7th penalty that they call in Real Madrid this season. Personally, well, no, it was on the line. It should have been a penalty. And Vinicius Jr., like I said, came in completely recklessly. He's trying to sabotage us, like Benzema once said. At that moment, you kind of got the feeling that Real Madrid knew that nothing much worse could happen to them. And at this point, there was not much more to lose and more to win. And on the other hand, Levante felt like they could be up, and Real Madrid was still just a goal away from winning this game. So Real Madrid actually did end up growing a little bit. The game was a little more balanced. Toni Kroos and Modric were able to find certain more balance to bring to the game. However, offensively, Real Madrid had nothing. Benzema was just completely tired. Asensio was too much on the wing. Vinicius Jr., who knows what he's doing. There was just not much offense, and Real Madrid never really had a single opportunity to score. As the time went by, Levante found themselves the goal. Minute 80, I believe it's minute 80. Off a corner, Roger Martí does a great fake that none of the Real Madrid players were able to distinguish, and mark him up by himself in the penalty spot, gets the ball, turns around, does a half volley and into the back of the net. At that moment, I knew it was game over. This team has no response, absolutely zero response. Everyone is dead. You look at the bench, there's absolutely no options. They decided to make some changes by taking out Asensio and taking out Karim Benzema, bringing in Mariano and the youngster Arribas from Real Madrid Castilla, who frankly has done absolutely nothing. There's nothing to get excited about him. And you look at our front three and you see that you have Mariano as your striker, and then you have Arribas on the wing and Vinicius Jr. on the other wing. And you're just this is Real Madrid. How? Look at our front three. Look at the front three. Who the hell are they? Mariano is ass. Vinicius Jr. can't do anything, and Arribas is just he's just thrown in there. What is he gonna do? it's just really frustrating. And I think all of this comes down to, I mean, you can partially say to the pandemic. You look at the team that won La Liga last year, and it's the same team minus you have like James Rodriguez, Bale, Odegaard, oh not Odegaard, but you know we lost Odegaard too. Luka Jovic, like you're just taking out all these players, and we have brought in absolutely no one. We're just eliminating players, loaning them out, selling them, and bringing in absolutely no one. You look at the bench, and there's no one. And I get that we have a lot of injuries right now, but there's just no one. And it's just the state of the team, the state of like all of football. Like, you know, all the teams have such little money, so there's just a more of a balance really bringing into La Liga. And this is why you're starting to see all these teams tie and like win against the quote-unquote bigger teams. The league is lost. The league is lost. If Atletico Madrid wins tomorrow, they're going to take a 10-point gap with a game in hand. So if they win that other game in hand, that's a 13-point gap, which even if Atletico starts losing points, this Real Madrid team is going to keep losing points. We can't expect this team to continue winning games. It's not like we're going to win out and like we can't even hope for Atletico Madrid to drop points because it doesn't matter at this point. Barcelona, if they win their game tomorrow, they're going to be going up ahead of us. We're going to be tied in points, but they're going to have the goal difference for now. So they're going to be going up ahead. At this point, La Liga is lost, so we just have to move on from it. All that is left is Champions League. We're not going to win the Champions League. Let's just hope we can beat Atalanta. And let's just hope that we can start preparing for next year. Guys, it's a very frustrating time. Today marks the end of La Liga, and try to pick your heads up because there's really not much to be excited for this season. Let's just try to develop the team for next year. That's all I can say. We need fresh ideas. It's a chaos. It's a chaos. Guys, if you made it to the end of this video, make sure you hit the like button to help us out a little bit. If you're new to the account, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. There's going to be better times ahead. With that being said, I hope you still have a wonderful day, and for now, peace out. I'm back. I realized I forgot to give a shout out, and there were two people that correctly predicted that Real Madrid was going to lose 2-1 to Levante. These people are Emmanuel Magdaleno Jr. and El Globo. Congratulations to y'all for getting this horrible prediction correctly, but y'all still get your name in the leaderboards. For now, I'm out.